Hey guys, how's it going today? So I'm going to be working on my wife's 2016 Acura MDX, restoring her headlights. They've gotten pretty bad, they're pretty foggy, just don't really look that good on her car. So we're going to see what we can do about that today. I've done quite a few YouTube videos trying to do my research on what's the best product, and I think I found the best product, so I'll show you guys how it goes. But first I'm going to show you her headlights here. You can probably see those guys. Doesn't look as bad on camera as it does in real life, but you can, I feel like, hardly see through those things. So it's definitely, this one's worse than the other one, but you can see how bad that actually is. So we're going to try to be doing that on her car today. The garage is a little hot, but I'm gonna make it through. This is what I'm gonna be using today. Sylvania Headlight Restoration Kit. So kind of open it up here, and it's got quite a few little products, some different levels of sandpaper, rags, gloves, that kind of stuff. It says you might want painter's tape around the paint around the headlight. We'll see how it goes. I'll try to bring you along, try to include you as much as I can. I've already just kind of did like a cleaning, basic cleaning, try to get the bugs, and I did that already. Next step, I'm going to tape off the paint around those and then start the process. So we'll see how it goes. Okay, got the headlights, paint taped right around the headlight there. On the bottom, that's pretty far away from the paint, so I just didn't bother taping that. Don't mind how dirty my wife's car is. We'll get that fixed after we get this done. Here we go, we'll start the process here. See how it goes. Okay, so the first step we got here, we're going to put on this surface activator. Basically says just spray it on there, get the whole thing wet, and let it sit there for 30 seconds. And then clean it off with clean water. So we will do that now. And now with this count, wait for 30 seconds and okay, so got the applicator done on the first step on both headlights. Now the next step is to do the wet sanding. So there's 3 courses, 400, 1,000, and 2,000 grit sandpaper. Basically just says wet it and sand until you get a uniform, basically haze all the way across. So right now it's definitely not uniform and very hazy, so we're gonna wet the whole thing, wet the sandpaper, and get to work. So maybe I need to do a little more in here. Down here in this corner. I haven't quite done yet, so keep going here a little bit, see what we get. Okay, that looks pretty uniform there. I'd say that's good on that, on the 400, so we'll move on to the 1000 next. Alright, so the 1000 grit sandpaper is done now. Again, I think they're just looking for that uniform kind of consistency across the headlight. So now it's on to 2000 grit sandpaper, and that'll be the last sanding before we move on to kind of the next process of the headlights. So show you a little bit of this, but I won't bore you. You know, it's just kind of the same mundane process over and over again. Okay, so I got the 3 steps of sanding done, the 400,000 and 2000. Grit sandpaper done. It has very even, consistent, you know, kind of haze to the entire headlight, which I think is what you're looking for. On this, I don't see any like major scratches or indentations or anything. There's a few like little nicks. I'm assuming that's maybe just like kind of a rock chip kind of thing. You know, it's a used car. It's not brand new. So I think some of those are on there, and I think that's, you know, just going to be there. But the next step is to apply a rubbing compound. So this is kind of like a polish, I believe. That's what it reminds me of. So you just apply it to a white paper towel that they gave it to you. You have the contents on one headlight, half the contents on the other headlight, and then rub it for 5 minutes. Same kind of process as the sanding. I'm going to wet the headlight, put this on there, and then rub for about 5 minutes or till the compound kind of dries out. That's what happened. I actually did the other headlight first, and that's kind of what happened on that one at about 4 minutes. So I just stopped and cleaned it off. So we'll do this one and see what it looks like. Okay, so once you get done with that step, you can see, well, maybe you might be able to see within the camera, but it's got a lot clearer. It looks, you know, pretty good, but it says to clean that polishing compound off now. Good rinse here. Get all that off of there. It does say in the instructions there's going to be a hazy kind of look to it after this step. But again, I think you're just making sure that there's not, you know, any unevenness looking to the headlight. All looks consistent, even if it is a little hazy. It's pretty good. Alright, so we'll move on to the next step here. Okay, so now it wants the surface applicator one more time for 30 seconds. So we'll spray that on there, let it sit for 30 seconds, and then rinse it off. I think kind of, you know, clean everything around here, try to get some of this, you know, stuff that's kind of washed off here onto the car. Try to get some of that off here and get it cleaned up. Got to get it dry before you apply the UV applicator. That's what it says. So we'll take the tape off and try to get everything real dry and clean. And then we'll go on to the next step and final step. Okay, so I got everything cleaned off. They give you another white rag to make sure that that lens is completely dry before you apply the UV coat. And I, made sure I dried everything, around it. Try to get rid of as much moisture as I could. So on this last part, you're going to take the UV block clear coat, the final step of that, in a blue rag, and you apply this to the very edge of the rag, let it get real soaking wet, and then you just do coats across the top of this until the entire lens is coated in this stuff. It says to be heavy-handed with it, make sure that you use plenty and that your rag is wet the entire time. So I did the other one already. Let's see how this one goes here. I'm just making sure that this is very wet. Getting that wet edge along here. Like that. Make sure I didn't miss any spots. That looks pretty good. I think I did a better job on this one than I did on the other side, so hopefully the other one turns out alright. But that'll be it. I'll show you once this cures. I think it says cures in dried to the touch in 1 hour, and then 4 to 6 hours for fully cured. So I'll bring you guys back once it's done. Okay, so just got done with it. But you can see how much clearer that is. It's amazing. It looks like it's brand new on this side. I did this one second, so had a little practice. So that one looks the best. This side, I went back over it a little bit, and you can see some like streaks. I'm hoping that that's going to, kind of clear up. If not, part of me says maybe I might just do a second coat of that stuff on there. Now I know what I'm doing. But it's still significantly clearer. Yeah, looks a lot better. I don't know, hopefully it'll kind of even out and dry out as it goes. But still, yeah, way better than it was. Yeah, so I mean, it was a pretty easy process. Definitely make sure your arm's a little tired if you're not used to sanding, all day long. That's at least 40 minutes of solid sanding that they want you to do on that. So that was a pretty good workout, and it's like 95 degrees outside, so it's pretty hot in my garage today. I was kind of doing this also in between me doing an oil change in my truck as well. So overall it wasn't too bad though. Hopefully this will last. Hopefully I don't have to do this again to her car. I think a previous owner that had this car lived in California. Not sure if he had it parked in a garage or not. So I'm assuming with how much damage the headlights had, it probably wasn't in a garage, or it's outside for a lot of time into the sun. And that's what happened on that. But now it's garaged, so hopefully it'll last, for the lifetime that we have this car. Maybe the next guy might have to do it again. But I've never had this happen on a vehicle, and I've owned a lot of older vehicles with 200,000 miles and never had to do this. So it's kind of weird. Her car's a 2015, so it's not very old at the time of this. So I don't know, but we'll see. Hopefully it lasts. It's a pretty good product. I would definitely recommend it. I'll put a link in the description to an Amazon for the product. So let me know if you got any questions on it. Thanks.